Yeah, how's it going, man? This is Jacob, your ISRAELITE from One Nation, One Power. I'm the tribe of Gad. Now we're here in Arizona, in Holbrook, Arizona, and what we're going to show you is that this right here is a railroad track. Okay, you can look over there. That's one of the historical buildings, that white building right there. Now go ahead, turn the camera around, and see this is another building. Okay, now the reason why we're bringing this out is because this is one of the last places, the last stop before the white people took the Native Americans, you know, the Navajos, the Hopis, the Apaches, you know, even the natives in the Grand Canyon, the Wallapies, the Supais, you know, every Native American that's in Arizona, this is one of the last stops, okay, before they shipped them off to Santa Fe, New Mexico, before they shipped them off to Kansas for boarding schools. So the reason why we're showing you this place is because I want you to keep this in mind, that this place right here, you know, has a lot of tears. All right, there's a lot of tears and a lot of blood that has been spilled at this area. The reason why is because in the city of Holbrook, or the town of Holbrook, you know, it's the border town of the reservation. And when you look around this community, you will see a lot of drunks, okay, Native Americans that are just drunks out on these streets. And a lot of them got ran over in these railroads. They will fall, trip, and pass out, or either just get hit by these railroads. So the reason why we're bringing this out is because, you know, this is a border town, but also we want to share with you that, you know, according to this book right here, you know, Through Indians' Eyes, and I want you to keep this in mind. I did this in my previous video about a girl from San Juan Pueblo. I want you to keep this in mind. It says, pretty soon the train whistled around the bend near Rio Grande. My grandfather was holding me on his lap, but when the train came, I got in and I saw the tears coming out of that brave man's eyes. Now, like I said, there's many tears that have been cried here on this place, because before, you know, before we went to school, before we went to boarding school, the mother would care for the children, you know. The child will understand the love of a mother and their parents. But right here, this is the beginning of that separation before they got shipped off to boarding school. And we're going to bring out a verse.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 41.
That's right.
Thou shalt begot sons and daughters.
That's right.
But thou shalt not enjoy them.
We will not enjoy them. So this place is a representation of that very act. Because from this place to the reservation, it's another 100 miles, okay? No matter where you go. But from this place to Santa Fe, that's like about 200 miles, 300 miles. Then from Santa Fe to Kansas City, you're crossing different countries. You're crossing different states. All right? I'm gonna go grab that. You finish reading that?
For they shall go into captivity.
For they shall go into captivity. Now, when the Bible talks, there's different kind of captivities, right? There's ones where you can in actual captivity, being forced to labor. But see, the Native Americans, the children, were forced to go to these boarding schools. You know, taken away, stolen away from their own family. That's right. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, and you know, we just want to bring reality.
That's right.
This is our main focus, is to actually show you what we see. You know, lots of people out there, they may not know about Native American history, you know, but we got it all around us.
That's
and
right.
We want to bring the, you know, show you the poverty. We want to show you what's really going on out here. And you might not agree with us, but the proof is in the pudding.
That's right.
So we're going to bring it to you, and we got plenty more to show you guys.
That's right. We're going to make 3 stops, man. This is Holbrook. This is the last place that they stop before they ship them out on these trains. Okay, you got Holbrook and you got the Navajo reservation. There's a trading post out there called Betahochi. All right, it's just like this too. It's like run down, you know. It's not operational anymore. But it was one place that they stopped. And there's another place in Hopi, you know, it was a trading post too. So we're going to take you to those places, and we're going to bring out a little information. Hopefully we'll be able to, you know, talk to some people out there, you know, my family, and show you where I grew up at, you know, and you will see the difference, you know. it's not like what some of these brothers say about how we have per cap and have all these casinos and stuff. Look at this place, man. You know, there's really ain't nothing here. You know, there's a train track there, and this place has only been established since 1882. All right. So with that, you know.
And another thing, you know, and this is they put these articles up here to remind us of what they did to us.
That's right.
It's a reminder. That's how I look at it. So, all praises to the Most High. We'll come back. All right.
All right, there you go, family. That's the place I'm telling you about right there. This is Betahochi. This is in Arizona on the Navajo reservation. As you can see right there, that's what they call a hogan. That's usually what the traditional people they live in, you know. But that's the place right there. That's the place where yeah. So you seen that, right? Let me get this camera focused in. All right, so you see that, right? Betahochi right there. That's the place they took the Native Americans from Hopi, from Navajo. They brought them here before they took them to Holbrook, Arizona, before they shipped them off to Kansas. Now there's another place right here I'm gonna show you. You know, so this is the reservation. You know, this is down there. It's on Greasewood. You know, then you got what they call Indian wells over there. Then right here you can see there's a roadside vendor. And usually this is how the people are able to, you know, bring up some kind of source of income for their family, you know. And as you see, man, there's very few cars passing by, but, you know, they got one person over there, which is good, you know, Most High bless. But if you go further on down there, there's a newer store, you know. But yeah, this used to be the store right there, Betahochi, you know. That was the beginning of the trip to Holbrook, Arizona, to where they shipped them all to Kansas to boarding school. So I mean, when you look at this place looks good, it looks nice. But when you think about the historical event, what happened to our people, man, this place was a place of tears. Mothers cried for their children, fathers cried for their children, the children cried for their parents, because all they can remember is this right here, this land, you know, where their forefathers roamed. But now, you know, this is what it is, man. Until next time, the next stop will be Hopi. You know, I'm doing this thing in reverse, but you know, I actually started from Hopi and then this way to here to Betahochi, then to Holbrook, then to Kansas. But I'm doing it in reverse, so you know, just bear with me, man. All right, Most High bless. And then you want to check this out. This is it says Keams Canyon Shopping Center. Alright, so if you're looking on top, you know, mutton stew, of course, fried bread, Hopi traditional, incorporated fresh meat, Kings Canyon. Right? Now this place right here, it's a cafeteria right there, and right in here it's a art gallery, okay? See right there, cafeteria and art gallery? You see that? Cafeteria, art gallery? Now, and this place is one of the places where a lot of our people will make kachina dolls, potteries, rugs, traditional dresses, and all that stuff. You know, bring it here and sell it here. You know, this is one place that, as a child, you know, from elementary all the way up to high school, you know, this is what I turned to help buy myself, you know, shoes, clothes, and all that stuff. You know, by doing artwork. So I brought my stuff here, and they have a lot of my artwork here. You know, so I just wanted to go ahead and show you that. You know. There's our, you know, our Mustang gas station. Of course, you know, this is in Keams Canyon. It's like another 15 miles to the main community, you know. So this is Keams Canyon again, you know, art gallery. And this is the place, not this place right here, but this is the place where the Navajos and the Hopis, you know, they got rounded up and, you know, they were brought here to Keams Canyon. I was going to stop at the boarding school, but I just passed by it. But that's where they stopped, and they shipped them out to Betahochi, you know, which is like about 50 miles away. you know, and then from Betahochi to Holbrook, which is another about 50, 60 miles away. Now, I'm talking about little kids, you know, like 10, 11, 12, 15 years old, have to make that walk, you know. They put them in wagons and took them, but not everybody could fit in the wagons, you know. They'll have the older kids, you know, walk beside the wagons, you know, and that was the thing, you know. So all praise and glory to the Most High, which is bringing this video and showing you this place, man, because, you know, every one of these places here, you know, has a story, man. This place right here, even though they bought our artwork and all that stuff, you know, they were pretty much ripping us off. Now, how's it going? It's JACOB. You know, I'm just gonna bring out a quick lesson. You know, bring out quick verses. You know, so hopefully you enjoy the little documentary we put together. You know, from Holbrook to Betahochi, that's Navajo Reservation, and also to Keams Canyon, which is on the Hopi Reservation, and that's where I was raised up. You know, I was raised up on the Hopi Reservation, but not only in Hopi, but I also was raised up in Jemez, New Mexico. So I had two different upbringings. You know. So hopefully, I pray that this video will help inspire the tribe of Gad, you so-called Native Americans, you know, and whoever's out there, you know, because, you know, we're not the only ones that went through this atrocity, you know. I mean, every indigenous people from the north to the south, North America to South America, to the East Coast to the West Coast, you know. So we all share this similar, you know, atrocity. So I'm just praying that this will help wake you up, you know, and find out that you are the children of Israel and that we fit the curses of Deuteronomy 28, you know, and see what else, man. Like I said, hopefully it will inspire you so you start doing your own research, you know, reading the scriptures. That's what I'm praying, man. I pray that you'll come to the Bible, man, that you'll come to the scripture, come back to your history, come back to who you are, you know, as the children of Israel, because the Most High has given us a spirit not like everybody else in this world, you know. So the children of Israel, we carry this spirit about us, you know, and it's not the same that the other nations have, you know. And that's why, you know, once you come to realization that these scriptures are meant for you and that this Bible is yours, you know, it'll wake you up to a whole new level, you know, of understanding. Because right now, you know, by going through boarding school, okay, and accepting that, because it's not a good thing that our people went to boarding school. Right now, we might consider it as being good, you know, because what? Because why? Because we have an education, because we can read, you know, we can write, we can go out in the world and get a job, you know. But see, that's not how can I say? You might say that is okay now, right? Because we send our children to school, but that's what we're that's something that we have to do, you know, in order to survive. That's a survival thing, you know. But it's not what was actually required of us to do, you know, because this is a white man's society, you know. This is a white man's establishment. This is what he wanted, you know. Even though the Most High gave us, you know, a language to speak. Even though when you go throughout the reservation, you see all these hieroglyphics, you know, these pictographs, you know, there were our writings, you know, and we could interpret those, you know. But not only that, but when you even go further back, you know, when you go to Los Lunas, New Mexico, you got the Denalog stone, you know, you got the Baton Rouge stone, you know, different places in America that actually has Hebrew writing, you know. So I believe that our people did write, you know, before we learned how to write in English, you know. So I'm just praying, like I said, you know, this video will help wake you up and understand that, you know, going to school is actually part of our curse, you know, because what did they do to us as an indigenous person, you know? It separated us from our parents. It separated us from our culture. It ripped us from our identity, you know, because the very model that was expressed at that time was, you know, kill the Indian to save the man, you know. Being Indian wasn't good enough for the white people, you know. But being Indian also, you know, angered the Most High to send the white men against us. Because when you're reading the scriptures, you know, it says that the Most High used the wicked as a sword, you know. And that's why these atrocities happened to us as it did. you know. And I'm gonna go ahead and get some scriptures for you. If you read Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 15, it talks about the curses, And I know a lot of brothers out there, the tribe of Judah, my brothers, that bring out the curses, And there's a lot of curses out there. And I'm speaking from of an indigenous point, from an indigenous background, So I'm gonna bring this from that perspective. So in Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, it says, but it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right. So these are the curses that have come upon us, and they're going to overtake us. That doesn't mean that we're gonna, come out of it in a good way, but it's going to come against us, to overtake us. And who did these curses? The Most High. Because why? Because when you read up from the beginning, it says that, thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes. That is the reason why these curses came upon our people. That's why we got shipped off to boarding schools. That's why, our parents, they weeped after their children. That's why, our children, our brothers and sisters who went to boarding schools, were treated unfairly, And like I said, all this is in the scriptures. Let me get another curse. All right. It says right here, okay, it says, and the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Now, how does this scripture fit us? The white people, who came to the shores, and our people helped them survive through the winter, you in your mind says, well, the Hopi people weren't there. There were the, the Wampanoags, that was them, But the thing is, the Most High doesn't see us as being 500 nations. He sees us as being one tribe, his chosen people, his nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. So whatever happens to them, also affects us, because that's the way it happens in the scriptures. Like when David, was tempted by Satan to number the people. All right, even though David was from the tribe of Judah, and he committed that act, but still yet, because of that very act that he did, it affected the whole nation. So when the white people came over here to the shores, to America, or what they call America today, it wasn't just for them people only, but it affected all of us. Okay, so that's how that we're connected. So they're the strangers that came into this land, and they came very high above us. And we came very low. That's why we on these reservations. That's why you see the brothers and sisters out there drunk on the street. Now, how low can you go? We're the people that have to survive on food stamps, commodities, And you got the brothers in the ghettos who are surviving in substantial houses, some houses, the projects, So these are the things that happen to our people, It didn't just happen just to one tribe, and it was an individual act that happened to them. It happened to all of us, man. Even our brother Judah, the so-called black African Americans, it happened to them too, because when they came here, they didn't have they weren't put in a position that was greater than, the strangers that came into these land, And when you read further on, 44, it says that he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. And that's where we're at, man. We have to go to them for a loan, right? There's nothing that we can give them. Even the stuff that they take, even the natural resources that they take from our land, we're not lending to him. We don't own no, big machinery to operate or conduct, and take the natural resources from our land, because it's not in our mind, it's not in our spirit to do that. But if we wanted to, we don't have that kind of resources to go and take coal from our land, or take the minerals from our land, or drill oil on our land. So we have to go to who? We have to go to them, and he's gonna lend us these tools. And when he lend us these tools, he's gonna ask for his share, and we're not even going to lend to him. We're going to become, you know, we're gonna have to continuously, give him what he wants, So he's going to be above us. He's going to be our head, and we're going to be the tail, So that's the thing, So, and we go on further in Deuteronomy, and a lot of brothers bring this out that Deuteronomy 28:48, when it talks about our enemies, that we should serve our enemies, that the Lord, that God is going to send against us in our hunger, in our thirst, in our nakedness, and in one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Now I want you to hear that part. He says, in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed us. See, a lot of our chiefs, who didn't want to send their children to boarding school, were arrested. And here's a book called Hopi History, okay? And these are some of those chiefs. They were taken to Alcatraz, okay, because they didn't want to send their kids to school. At this time, when this picture was taken, okay, this is when they actually started to have or make schools closer to the reservation. But before that, the very first schools, the very first boarding schools were far away from the reservations. So it doesn't matter, like, if a child escaped, he will never make it home. So that's the thing. He put this yoke of iron upon our necks until he have destroyed us. Now that yoke of iron, of course, is slavery. Of course, is being constrained. Until he had destroyed us. And how are we destroyed? We no longer have that family system. And I mentioned that many times in my videos that it's because of that separation between the mother and the child that we no longer have that community. We don't know how to function as a community. You don't see each other as family. Yeah, we have a clan system, and a lot of people say, "What clan are you?" You tell them your clan, this and that. And usually, back then we had a respect for the different clans. Like, oh yeah, okay, you're my mom's clan, so there's a certain way you have to treat that person, or you're my dad's clan, there's a certain way you have to treat them, and always, our younger brothers and sisters, we will always, address the elders as, grandpa, grandma, auntie, uncle, our cousins, our brother. There was really no cousins, but it was mostly like brothers, or sister. And that was the way we, treated each other. So this is the reason why it says until he have destroyed thee, because we grew far from that system. And how do we grow far from that system? It's because we went to these schools and it taught us about individualism, how to be individual, and not be connected. Because in these boarding schools, they, when they try to speak their own language, or when they try to show emotions or feelings, or have feelings or pity for their own brothers and sisters, it was beat out of them. It was like a bad thing for them, And there's a video and there's a movie, I suggest that some of you guys go out there and watch it. It's called Older Than America. Now that's a tripped out movie, man. I mean, for real. If you go watch that movie and you see this video, it'll make perfect sense of what I'm saying, because it wasn't like going to schools like how you go right now, where you can join sports, have a good time, meet your friends, all that stuff. It wasn't like that for us, So when we go on further on reading in 49, it says that the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from ends of the earth, as swift as the eagles flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Now, there you go. Now, I know my Native American brothers can relate to this, because it says a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So that was the thing, we didn't understand English or Spanish or French, we didn't understand any of these languages. So we know that right at this verse, this should be an eye opener for you, man. To understand that, that the Most High, God, brought these nations against us from where? From far, from the end of the earth. Back at that time, a lot of these nations didn't know that there was a civilization already established over here, which are our people, man. So let's go ahead and go further. I'm gonna read on verse 50. It says, "A nation of fair countenance, which shall not regard the persons of old, nor show favor to the young. And there you go. That's self-explanatory. You know, just like right here. These some brothers right here from the Hopi Reservation that were sent to Alcatraz, they were doing what was good for their people, man. They didn't want to see their children being hauled off to boarding schools. And, well, you know what? They actually, the superintendent at that time actually sent for troops, the United States troops, to come and round up the kids because they didn't want to send their kids to school, you know, because they needed their children at home to help out with the fields, you know, to help out with things at home, you know, and not only that, but to participate in the ceremonies that were being taught at that time, because that was their identity, that was their culture, and that's how they identified themselves, you know, is through these cultures, through these traditional doings, you know. So, like I said, they didn't show favor to the old. So what did they do? And like I said before, they were doing a good thing because they were protecting their family. But in the eyes of the white man, it was the wrong thing. Because you know why? Because they wanted their kids to go to school. All right? They wanted their kids to go to school. And why is that? When you think about it, why did the white man wanted the indigenous people to go to school? Because it makes a better slave. And when you go back up to Deuteronomy 48, it says, "Thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, you know, in hunger and thirst and in nakedness," right? And in want of all things. So we're still serving our enemies today. And how are we doing that? It's because we went to school, learned to speak English, learn how to write, you know, learn how to, you know, learn math and other stuff, you know, so that we can become, you know, productive slaves to serve our enemies, which the Most High had sent against us, because they were a nation that was brought against us from afar, and they were a nation whose tongue that we didn't understand. And that same nation, you know, of fair countenance, what is reading in 28 and 50, says that they will not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So that was the thing, you know. There was no favor showed to our brothers and sisters who went to boarding school, you know. And not even okay, even like that. But when you go further on, like when Andrew Jackson and, you know, all these other people, you know, who went against the Native American, they didn't show favor to our young because they used to stomp on their heads, you know, with their boots or with the butt of their gun. You know, they used to cut the babies out of the mother's womb and dash them on rocks. Still, this is that same nation, you know. When they went on the long walk, when the Navajos went on a long walk, when the Cherokees went on the Trail of Tears, you know, when our people were running away from the cavalry, this same nation, you know, of fair countenance didn't regard our people of old, because the old people, you know, they couldn't keep up with the rest of the people because they were fleeing for their lives. So what did they have to do? They had to, you know, get left behind. And when they got left behind, what did the soldiers do? You know? Of course, they killed them or tortured them for information, you know, different things, you know. Now, when you go to 59, it says, "The Lord shall make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and a long continuance." See, right now, this is that long continuance because it continues to happen over and over again. And these are those plagues. These are those curses. Let's go back to the beginning. It says, "Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and a long continuance, a sore sickness, and a long continuance." All right? I said the Lord did this, man. God did this to our people, you know? You know, right now, we just look at the white man and think it's all about the white man doing this. Nah. You know, the Most High is using the white man as a vessel, you know? Just like he used Pharaoh as a vessel, you know? When you go, let's get that real quick, man. It's enough. Let's go to Hebrews. Read the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse. Oh wait, no. Romans. I'm sorry. Okay, this is Romans. All right. Romans chapter 9, verse. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 17. It says this. Romans chapter 9, verse 17. For the scripture says unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all generation. Okay, throughout all the earth. Now see that? The Most High said he raised up Pharaoh for this very purpose. It's the same reason why the Most High brought these nations for this same purpose, to punish the children of Israel, which is us. From North America to South America, from Alaska to South America, from the East Coast to the West Coast. All right, and he's the one that brought these plagues. All right, when you go further on, there's 60 and 61. It says, moreover, he will bring upon thee all the disease of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Now see that? The same plagues that he brought onto Egypt is also going to be brought onto us. What did he do? He brought mice into Egypt. Now, aren't the ghettos filled with mice? On the reservation, all filled with mice, plagued with mice, lice, even lice. Lice was brought onto the reservation, but on the boarding schools, that was brought onto our people. So lice is a disease, a lice is a plague. Even sores. When you go to the reservation, you see our people suffering from different kind of diseases that we were not aware of. All right, that we have never seen. Smallpox. So all these things, man. Verse 61. Also, every sickness, every plague, which is not written in the book of the law, of this law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Now, that should put fear in you, man. It says that even the sickness and every plague, which is not written in the Bible, the Most High is going to bring them upon us. So, we think that, man is creating diseases. Nah, man, it's the Most High. The Most High is giving, man, this intelligence. He's just like he woke us up to this truth. At first we thought Jesus was white until he brought that information to us and made it known unto us so that we can understand the information. He's also doing this, so that these plagues, these diseases, these sickness that are coming upon them, which are created by man or which is brought forth by man, is the Most High opening their understanding or opening their thought process and bringing these sickness and these plagues unto us. And like he said before, until thou be destroyed. Now, we are destroyed people, man. So hopefully this video will help my brothers and sisters out there for the tribe of Gad. My name is Yaikwa, and all praise and glory to the Most High, and all to my brothers and sisters out there, all 12 tribes scattered abroad, the tribe of Judah, Most High bless, Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom, Shalom.